Just keep restarting the stream over and over again. Okay, so that... Oh, okay, well. Alright, I think we're good. So actually, since we're here, go ahead and bump everything back up. Anti-aliasing. No, we don't want depth blur. I get no. Okay. Okay. I think we're good. God damn it, dude. It's either this game or OBS, but I think it might be a little bit of both. Okay, there's batteries here for something. Who's laughing now? Fucking me, because we're almost done with this game. Was I not supposed to go in here yet? Okay. There's this. Ruh-roh. Oh my god, it's doing it again. Why? Oh, there we go, fix itself. What am I stuck on? Come on. Okay, I gotta get him to run into 4 different things. Okay. Yeah, like this is not a gameplay mechanic that's been tried and tested forever. Yep. Oh, you missed that one? Come on, dude. You're smarter than that. Bendy? I guess that's Bendy. Yeah, you hit that one. One more. Come on, one more. Okay, come on. Go around the... Yep, go around the glass. Now charge at me. There we go. We did something. Don't know what, but we did something. Okay. All right. Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's popping up every now and then. It's probably... How's the encoding overloaded? Oh, you know what? I think I might have an idea on what it is. I'm going to have to do it afterwards, though. I just don't want it to crash towards the end here. Hold up. We're not dropping frames or anything. We're not dropping frames. Yeah, the game just runs like ass, and OBS is fucking with me. Yeah, I went to sit down with OBS and redo a bunch of shit. Okay, but anyway, we killed Bendy? The first iteration of Bendy, I guess? Question is, whose soul was in him? Oh. Okay. Okay, well, this is actually a normal place. Okay. All right.
Henry, so soon. I didn't expect you for another hour yet. Now you're
Are we
just
dead?
trying to impress me. I know. You have questions. You always do. The only important question is this. Who are we, Henry? I thought I knew who I was. But the success starved me. Nothing left but lines on a page. In the end, we followed 2 different roads of our own making. You, a lovely family. Me, a crooked empire. And my road burned. I let our creations become my life. The truth is, you were always so good at pushing, old friend. Pushing me to do the right thing.
He even looks like Walt Disney.
You should have pushed a little harder. Henry, come visit the old workshop. There's something I need to show you.
What is it? Okay.
All right, Joey. I'm here. Let's see if we can find what you wanted me to see.
The end. Okay. Yep. Figured it out. Okay. Okay, well. I mean, that's something. That's something for sure. A limited voice cast. That's okay. Sammy Lawrence. Okay, so yeah, that was the same guy. It's Alice Angel Allison. Susie Can. Okay. Joey J. Thompson is Bertram Piedmont. Okay, so yeah, they got. Yeah, I knew Jacksepticeye was in here. I have no idea who David Eddings is. Probably somebody who worked there. Works for Joey Drew Studios. Okay, Bendy and the Ink Machine. That's it. That is it. Oh no. Do you have a homemade ink machine? Congratulations on your success. Your best pal, Henry Stein. Okay. All right.
Tell me another one, Uncle Joey.
Okay, so they left off in a cliffhanger. Okay, I don't need to see this. Okay, there we go. You have unlocked the singing pool in all previous chapters. You have unlocked the archives, bonus content. Ooh, let's look at the bonus content really quick. No. Is it the archives? What is this? What's archives? Welcome to the archives. The Bendy and the Ink Machine began when developer cartoonist known as the Meatley experimented with bringing a sketch 2D style into a 3D world after turning the idea into a horror game. Chapter 1 of the game was created in a little under a week with programmer friend Mike Mood and released on February 10th in 2017. Much to their surprise, it struck a chord with the global indie gamers almost overnight. The Meatley and Mike Mood decided to drop all other projects to work on Bendy and tell a most unique ink story. The entire game was completed with a chapter at a time in a year and a half by a small but dedicated group of indie developers. Although the concept and story remained as originally intended, the game changed over the development as the characters and models were refined from their early thrown-together versions. This archive is a peek behind the scenes of that process. I love shit like this. Thank God they put it in. Okay, I'm not going to read everything. I'm just going to kind of look at it. Okay, ooh, that would have been a neat enemy. That's actually a cool concept art up there. Alpha Ben. Oh, so that is Bendy. That is Bendy. Okay, so that is Bendy. I just thought they called him Ink Demon or whatever. Okay. Sammy Lawrence, Pipers, Beta Searcher, Final Searcher. Okay. Beta Sammy, Final Sammy. Okay. I like this. I like this a lot. Alice and Allison. John or Tom. Then Beta Boris, Boris the Wolf, Brute Boris. Oh, that's it. That's all you got. Oh, I guess the inside of the circle. Okay. All right. All right. So I think here's the perfect spot to do the review. There we go. All right. Let's open this bitch up. 10-point review system. Don't say. These are all old scripts and videos that are already out. Okay, let's get to rating this. I don't it's going to be a processed array, right? It's going to be a process. I'm gonna turn my music down. Hopefully, I'm thinking about readjusting the audio on the desktop just a little bit too. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let's get into this review. Make sure OBS is still running. Actually, let me open up Stream Manager really quick. I don't like doing that just because it can hog resources, but as long as everything's Gucci. We Gucci? Yeah, we're Gucci. We good. We good in the hood. All right. I'm trying to collect a few thoughts before I really get started here, right? Just to figure out what I want to say exactly. Okay, so graphically overall, objectively, like we know what this game is. This is Bendy and the Ink Machine. It is a warped reality, twisted version of Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse. That's Boris is Goofy. Maybe Alice Angel could be Minnie. I don't see her as that, but definitely Betty Boop. Betty Boop. I would consider her a Betty Boop type character. Yeah, that's what I consider. So it's very stylized. And so one thing they've surprisingly done is that they've gone with this brown and orange color scheme, and it works. It works the whole way through. It's browns, oranges, a few reds, and black, a very, very dark blue, or not a dark blue, but a blue that's more black than blue, if you kind of know what I'm saying, like ink blue, essentially, like the Ink Machine. And it all works very well together. It knows what it's going for, and it hits it. So on that scale, we're just going to say it's a 1 objectively. And for me, subjectively, everything felt like it belonged because of the aesthetic. If you want to get into the nitty gritty about the machines they were using, that game takes place in like the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I'm not entirely sure. I need to do some research because I try not to go too far into everything before I look into it. But beyond that, it looks fantastic. Even though it's very simplistic, it looks fantastic. It really does. Sound design wise, it does its job. You know, sound effects are sound effects. I'm trying to expand my library of like what I want to say during sound design. One thing that is kind of a hit and a miss is the machinery you hear while you're in the production studio, the animation studio, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's hit and miss because you know you're in this like mechanical factory almost for this, I guess, to support this ink machine. But there's just not enough of it to make you feel like you're in the toy house, like you're in the main animation studio. You know, there's just not enough. They could have gone harder with that. They really could have. They are an indie team, but still, like, there's other teams who have done better. So with that, I do think that I think they genuinely missed the mark simply because there's not enough. The one thing I do enjoy though is the fact that there's not always music playing. You can listen to little things, and I kind of wish there was a little bit more ambience, because in reality there wasn't a lot of ambience. It was just dead quiet, which I'm okay with personally. Like, I'm okay with that. Also, let me fucking get rid of that. That's bothering me now. Where you at? 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 The fuck? Yeah. Okay, let's get rid of that really quick. I will fix it later. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's they hit it and they miss it. Simple as that. Objectively, it'll get a 1. I think it'll be good for most people, but for me, it gets a 0. Just eh. The music. You know, I tried listening to the music to the best of my ability, and it's more or less just like either horror strings or just, I don't know, nothing stood out. Then again, they probably didn't have like a really good composer. They could probably only afford like, you know, probably somebody who's either starting out or only worked on a few projects, nothing crazy. Yeah, I mean, I really don't have much to say about it. There's not much going on there, so I think objectively that'll get a 0. Because there's nothing that's like, oh, yeah. Polish, objectively, I think most people will run this fine. They're not going to be streaming it like I am and like also recording it at the same time. I don't think they're going to be doing what I'm doing. So I think that gets a 1 objectively. Subjectively, though, some areas just cause OBS to crash, and I don't know why. Like this PC has ran Dishonored 1, 2, and 3, no problems, streaming and recording. Sticks 1 and 2, streaming and recording. Abort Some Men, streaming and recording. Blood West, Filter, which Filter is not really graphically demanding. Corn Kids, that piece of shit. Every video on the channel right now, it's ran fine. So, you know, I think that's I definitely think it's a polish issue. It's an optimization issue. Beyond that, there's no really annoyances in the game that I can think of that really would put a player, like, push them away. Like, no, like, technical errors or nothing that would really bug a player necessarily. Like, you know, getting stuck in rooms. Like, we just had that one instance with Tom and Allison, but, you know, there was a way for us to get out of being stuck just right away. So there was that. Beyond that, I think objectively nobody will care, like genuinely. Story, yeah. I think we'll come back to this. We'll come back to that. Effectiveness, and I'll come back to that one too. I'll come back to that one too. Oh god, because it's. Hold on, I gotta take off these fucking headphones. We'll crank the volume up. That way I know when the music stops. Replayability, I don't think you're going to replay this game ever, honestly. I mean, you know, once you've figured it out, or not figured it out, like once you've experienced it once, like, are you going to play this, or are you going to go play Outlast, or are you going to go play the Amnesia series, or are you going to go play Resident Evil, you know, just any other horror game? I think you're going to play a different horror game than this one. There is no post game, so that's automatic 0. Or not automatic 0, but, you know, it loses that half of the category. And then I don't think you're going to want to replay it. Maybe you want to speedrun it, but at the same time, speedrunning is kind of discouraged since you can't pick up items as you find them. You have to wait until they're activated or spawned in the map. I don't know how exactly they work, but still, I think that's going to be a 0 on both ends. I think once you play this, you're done with it. Link took about, what was it, like, we just saw it too, that's the worst part. We just saw it. About 5 hours, 4.5 to 5 hours, if you're not dumb like me. So actually, let me check the price on it while I have its Steam page pulled up. It is $20 for that. $20 fucking dollars? No, absolutely not. No, for like a 5-hour experience, and I'm being generous. $20. $20. That's like what? That's 3 hours of working at McDonald's for this. No, 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 no. Absolutely not. No. And then the next title is $30, which hopefully it's better. It's longer, I already know that. But holy fuck. Okay, well. Okay, whatever. It's not based on what it costs right now, at least. For a 5-hour experience, that kind of gets old because you've figured everything out by then. It's more or less going through the motions. I mean, yeah, it's a sweet spot because by then you're done. You're just done. You're done. They don't have any more enemies to show you. They have no new levels to go through. Nothing. Just nothing. You're done. But with it being $20 $20, dude. I don't think that's not bang for your buck, bro. If you're paying $20 for a title, it either has to be highly replayable or it has to be longer. You know, or it definitely has to have some variability on how you play it. Imagine if Skyrim, when it came out, it was $20, you know? Because you could build different characters, essentially, is what I'm saying. But beyond that, no, that's man. It's a game that's sold on principle. Hopefully the sequels are better. Anyway, environments, variability, and differentiation. So the first place you go to is, actually, hold on, let me just load up the menu. Actually, let's see, it took me, 4.5 hours. Okay, so I'm gonna look really quick because the music in the main menu is fucking annoying. You have moving pictures, which is like the actual studio. Floor 2 is the song area. Yeah, the second floor is the music area. Third floor is where you find Boris and you have to help Alice. That's probably the longest level in the game. Chapter 4 is where you end up getting... Yeah, there's just not enough. I hate to say it, there's really not enough. There's not enough. I hate to say it, there's not enough environments. There's genuinely not enough environments. Yeah, I hate saying that so much. I really do. But I mean, it's the truth. It's the truth. So, 5 levels for 4.5 hours. First level is mainly the animation studio, which is like, you know, what you would expect to find in an animation studio. Second level was in the music area. You know, it's a fun little level. I think, yeah, you get kind of introduced to your enemies at first. Sure, fine. Third level, you're doing a bunch of chores, which is kind of stupid. Fourth level, I honestly don't remember the fourth level that much, so what does that tell you about it? Oh, the fourth level was the Bendy amusement park thingy mabob leading up to it. Yeah, okay. And then fifth level rather was the final one. Yeah. I mean, okay, so objectively, most people will be okay. Most people will be okay with that because they're genuinely different levels, right? They're different levels. The fuck? Why is that music that loud? On my end, at least. Okay. So yeah, most people will be happy. Most people will be happy because there's 5 different levels. There's 5 different levels with their own feelings, or their own feeling to the map itself. I think my biggest issue is that as you play the game, you kind of, you know, towards the end, really, with the audio logs, they tell you that Joey Drew was using this machine to, you know, make these characters into real beings. They were just soulless, and so all the people got turned into soulless husks, you know, all that jazz. And it's what's kind of weird is that you only get little samples of what each level is, or not little samples. So you either get a level that's completely dedicated to what it's trying to sell, like the first level, and the second level, which is a music level. The fourth level, which is kind of an amusement park, is like eh. But the third level, even though it's the biggest, it still suffers from like not really being a cohesive level, and you don't understand what the purpose of it is. It starts out as a toy factory, which makes perfect sense, but then it quickly devolves into many other things. I think if they would have kept it as a toy factory, I think it would have been perfect, because you have a lot of different things going on. And then as we go on to like the 5th chapter, you find you're in this chasm with a boat at the bottom of a fucking ravine, or whatever you want to call it, with a giant ink monster hand coming at you. It feels like nobody said, hey, that's just kind of out of place here, because that segment's boring. Like if you like, you're just playing a timer game at that point. So really the levels, half of the levels are okay, and then the other half are just subpar. So for me personally, it does get a 0 on environments. What I would have liked to seen is you have your animation department, you have your amusement park department, which they did fairly well on. You stick to a complete use for the toy factory. You stay completely within the bounds of a toy factory. You don't do any. You don't let the player forget that you're not in a toy factory. You don't do that. You keep reminding them, make them go through this entire level of the toy making process for Bendy toys. You know, they didn't do that. For the 5th level, it just feels out of place. The 4th and 5th kind of parts of the 4th level, where you're not even dealing with the occult, kind of. You're getting hints of the occult as you play the game, but beyond that, they just kind of drop it on you out of nowhere. You know, like you get a hint, and it's like, oh, that's what, you know, they pretty much tell you that's what's happening here, but like beyond that, you don't see any of it. And I kind of wish that the levels were a bit bigger and maybe just a few more hints about what's going on, you know, and obviously it becoming more and more apparent as you dive deeper and not having to flat out tell you. Yeah, that's a missed opportunity, and this is the reason why I'm like hard on indie games, is like just the same as I'm hard on AAA or AA devs, is because now it is 2024. We have decades of video games to learn from, and then we still like are under delivering in a way. Either way, let's see here. Story. Let's get back to. We'll come back to that. Effectiveness and engagement of gameplay. Not good. Once I figured out what to do, that the gameplay didn't matter anymore. So the gameplay shifts between stealth I personally like and stealth I personally do not like. We will focus on objectively what that means. Objectively, the stealth, or not the stealth, but the horror I personally like is horror in where you are defenseless. You have to throw objects to get enemies away from you. You have to hide. You have to think outside the box. The head-on challenge is not an option. 0 option, okay? And that's the one I personally like. The one I don't like is the one where you have weapons to defend yourself, because it ruins the whole point of a survival horror. At that point, it becomes a resource management game and you using the right tool for the right job. Is it still entertaining? To some people, yes. Are Resident Evil games good? Yes. Are they scary? No, they're not. They're not really scary, unless like the ammo like really doesn't do anything and you think it does. So you having weapons in the game to kill these basic enemies, sure, I can kind of see where they were going with that, and where having the actual monsters and enemies not be killable except by a super special means or whatever, what have you. Got it. But it doesn't work. I mean, it sounds good in theory, but it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Objectively, I think for most people, they will enjoy that though, because it is different horror genres in one almost. Not necessarily like what Resident Evil 7 did, where you had essentially 3 types of horror monsters, where you had the hunter, the trap layer, and I forgot what purpose the mom served. But regardless, that's just, I think objectively most people will like that, because it does change it up. I can't say it doesn't, because I think by the time you're tired of one, the other one is refreshing, but I don't think it works here overall. As I was saying earlier, with all these different, like the boss monsters, like that you cannot kill, or maybe you can, I don't know. I don't think I had a weapon for any of the boss monsters. Those are really the only legit threats, right? So like I don't know. Like it just that's what works is when you can't defend yourself. That's what makes it scary. That's what puts you on edge. That's what gives you anxiety. That's what makes your heart race. You know, that's when you make mistakes and you have to redo it all over again. Here, however, I think what they could have done also is with the save system. They could have made it to where you respawn at saves. You know, you had not like quick save, make it to where quick save is not an option. And if you die, you go back to your last save. I think Alien Isolation did that. It's been a decade since I've played Amnesia games, like the older ones, the first two. I think doing save point respawns would have been much better there. But regardless, it's going to get a 0 from me, simply because you get bored of it. It's the melee focus that's boring. And then there's not enough real threat when you're defenseless. And when you are defenseless and you're being chased by monsters, you just run into a locker. Apparently they forget that you were in there and then they just walk away. Like that's not good. That's just not good, guys. It's just not good game design. The story. I don't think there is one. I genuinely don't. There's a very basic one that gets you from point A to point B, but beyond that, you're just kind of... there's not enough wonder as to what's going on here. And you know, this is what happens when you set up like a first-time game, is like you're doing a lot more world building than you are storytelling, which, you know, we see it a lot. But here, I don't even, like, there is no story. Like, you get, you know, just little things here and there. There's not really, like you're just going, you don't even know why you're in the studio and why you're pressing forward. The main character does, but you don't. And, like, you know, that's supposed to be, like, I guess a reveal at the end or something, but it just kind of doesn't work. And I hate to say that, too, because I'm sure people worked hard on the game overall. But, you know, if your story sucks or non-existent or is non-existent, the gameplay better be good, and here it's not. I think objectively people won't like it. Genuinely, I don't think people will like just the nothingness of what's going on. There is no story. You don't have to follow anything. You just kind of go through the motions. And then I think that's true on both angles, genuinely. So, entire package overall, objectively, can you recommend this? I think you can. I think you can. I think it's a good game overall, genuinely. I think it's a solid game overall. That does have a lot of shortcomings. Hold on, I might have just changed my mind. Objectively, the entire package is, you know, it is what it is. You're going into it, if you know what to expect, if you know that this is an indie horror game, you know, you kind of know what to expect. Is it good? Not necessarily. The execution's really good. The graphical style, character design, monster design. I kind of can't wait to play the second one, but I'm going to not back-to-back record these like I did for Dishonor. That way I don't burn myself out. But with that being said, objectively, it gets a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of 10. Not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. But for me, can I tell somebody who likes horror games to play this? I can't, because at that point, if I do, I'm just trying to sell the gimmick. And the gimmick will sell itself, so it doesn't need my help. So what am I recommending this game for? The gameplay is not good, because it keeps jumping back and forth. It doesn't know. It has an identity crisis on what it wants to be. There is no story. You're going to play this once to be done with it. It's asking $20 of your dollars to play it for 5 hours. The environments are just not cutting it, you know, to my liking. Because, like, here's my thing, like, that's why storytelling is so important, because once you get your storytelling down, I think they kind of made up the story as they went, which, you know, I genuinely think that. Or maybe they just sat down, wrote the story in like 2 weeks, and that was it. But like, if you sit down and write a story first and then build the world around it, it kind of works. It works better sometimes. Because sometimes you do just have to build the levels and then create the story. Like if you play Blood West, you know, that game doesn't have a story either, and that's a prime example of them making levels and then making a story to make it cohesive. Which it wasn't really cohesive either. Same with Corn Kids. But if you look at Orcs and Men, they wrote the story first, then built the game. Go watch my review on that, you'll know what I'm talking about. But then they ran out of ideas. So, but I can't recommend this to anybody. I really can't. There's no way I'm giving this shit a 1 out of 10. Oh my god, yeah. 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 Yeah, I think it's a 1, 1, 1, 1. I think it's a 1 out of 10, dude. That's pretty bad. But to be fair, I am getting more strict on the music and ambience. To be way more fair, I'm getting a lot more strict on that and what I'm looking for. But like I said, there is no story. They made it up as long as they went. The gameplay is kind of hit or miss, and it's just not engaging. You're kind of just going through the motions. Replayability post game, you're not going. I don't want to replay this. I'm going to have to for footage, but like it's not like I've been craving to play Blood West again, but I'm waiting on them to release an update before I do that. Which is funny because I think I said I won't want to replay that within the year, but I kind of do. It might be like that first level syndrome where you play the first level and then you're like done with it. It's too short for $20 and it's just too short in general. I get it, indie game, got it, but still, if it was packed full of goodness, then sure, but most of the time you're just walking down hallways. You know, and I hate to say it, but it's true. Environments, they are cohesive in a way, but like there's not enough there. They just kind of feel like they put parts of this animation studio here. You know, like, I don't know. Or not animation studio, just the studio, Joey Drew Studios. It just doesn't feel like enough. And I guess, like, you know, at the same time, they're an indie dev studio. They kind of want to be careful on, you know, how much they put out or how much they can cram into a game on release. But, you know, it is what it is. But hopefully by the second title, they make me eat every single word I've said. Hopefully they improve on every aspect of everything and make me go, wow, this is way better than the first one. I'm glad they've improved. Hopefully they do. We will see, but that's it. Bendy and the Ink Machine objectively gets a 6 out of 10, which is not bad. We need to stop saying 7 out of 10s are bad. 6 out of 10s are good, are fine too. You know, you just kind of, you know, you don't buy it at full price. Maybe not even on its first Steam sale, maybe like 5 years after and on a Steam sale. 1 out of 10 for me. I'm just gonna minimize this and just give you one more reason why it stays at a 1 out of 10. It's simply because of the aesthetic that the game has. There's no other reason that this game sold other than its aesthetic. It does. If it didn't switch back and forth between what kind of horror game it wanted to be, it would have definitely been. It definitely would have been better. It would have felt a lot different as well. So yeah, that does it for tonight.